Banks begin hiking their rates. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because earlier today the RBA lifted their cash rate, for those of you playing at home, to 3.35%, another 25 basis points. Not as high as the CBA predicted. We didn't get that 40 basis point hike, but nevertheless, they're continuing to hike. And, well, more hikes are coming, that's what they've said. And the banks are instantly passing this on. I don't think anyone at all will be surprised. So the first bank reacts to interest rate hike. As Australians reel from the news of yet another rate hike, the first of the big four banks has revealed how customers will be affected. Now, the outrage we're seeing in the media, sure, they're amplifying it, sure, they're playing it up. People are wanting to complain, so they'll answer the calls from the ABC or for any news outlet to share their story. Stories of, we've got a single dad who's struggling with his mortgage payments as rates go up. That's another video we'll look at later today. But the question I pose to you, are these people just unaware of what's going to happen? Did they honestly trust what was reported, that the rate would stay at 0.1%? I know some viewers were saying, oh, they thought it would go negative. I didn't think it would go negative because we heard from the Reserve Bank governor when he was talking to the Economic Standing Subcommittee, or the Senate Economic Standing Committee about negative rates, how ineffective they were. So even while the media was reporting one thing, that all the banks have been instructed to prepare for negative rates, the governor was saying something else to the politicians. So because I just happened to be watching that because I'm a YouTuber, I knew it. But normies wouldn't. People just following the mainstream media wouldn't. How many people actually watch these politicians? It's boring as anything half the time. So I can understand why some people just aren't up to speed with it. And maybe it's a harsh lesson they need to learn about being a bit skeptical about what the media is pumping out there. I don't know. Well, let's have a look here. As Australians reel from yet another rate hike, which is the 9th one since May last year, they are waiting with bated breath for their banks to pass on the changes. Yeah, I would be shocked if well, frankly, I went and was looking at Twitter already before to see if CommBank had lifted their rates. I'd be shocked if any of the banks don't pass this on immediately. On Thursday afternoon, the RBA hiked prices by 25 points, bringing the cash rate to 3.35. Every time so far, each of the big four banks has passed on the cost to customers. ANZ is the first of the big banks to announce their response to the hike. The bank said variable interest rates across ANZ's Australian home loans will increase by 25 basis points per annum, effective from the 17th of February 2023. So you got 10 days. ANZ will also increase the rate available to savings customers on the ANZ Plus Saver account for balances less than $250,000 by 25 points to 4%, effective 14th of February 2023. So, I mean, this is the other side of the coin, guys. You might actually start to earn some decent returns on your savings. 4% is not that bad if you compare it to some of the residential yields people are getting. So that's going to pull away one support mechanism there on property too. The rental yields are not going to look as attractive compared to, well, easy money sticking it in the bank. I don't know what you need to jump through with bloody ANZ to get your 4%, but I mean, if it's like ING with my savings things, I got to do 50 million things, sign over a firstborn. It's such a pain in the ass. It'll be good once it gets back to the good old days of sticking money in an account and getting interest doing nothing. ANZ Group Executive Australia Retail, Marley Carnegie, said, at a time of increased cost of living and rate changes, some customers will be feeling greater financial pressure. We urge anyone facing difficulties to speak with our expert teams to discuss the options available to support them in their specific circumstances as early as possible. It's interesting. I did a poll asking viewers if they had ever missed a mortgage repayment or a loan repayment, and only 10% of the viewers had, which I wonder if that's just the type of people viewing my content, or in general. I'd say it's the type of people viewing the content. We got 90% males in Australia. You know, we're all old farts, most of us. But what's interesting is when some of them were sharing experiences where they had been late on more payments or something was going to come up, so they contacted the bank, they found it didn't really help at all. It was all bullshit, which I'm not surprised. So we know many customers are looking closely at savings rates. Today we've announced we'll increase the rate of ANZ Plus Save account to 4%. For customers that want greater certainty with their savings rate, last week we increased our 12 months advance notice term deposit to 4.1%. So the rate chaos continues. It's been 2 months since Australians have endured a rate hike after the central bank had a break over the Christmas period. Analysis from comparison website CanStar found that for the average Australian on a 500 grand mortgage, yeah, we've heard that, repayments will jump by $970 pretty much a month, or nearly 12 grand a year. For homeowners you're not stuck with $1 million mortgage. You chose to get $1 million mortgage. You may be stuck with a particular bank because you overpaid for something. How many people went, these prices that occurred during the lockdowns, during the COVID craziness, did people think that that was just normal? And, these shit boxes are going to be that expensive forever. I guess that maybe they're long term. They're jumping in and they're waiting it out because they'd rather have a house than not. Maybe. So for $1 million loan, you'll be paying nearly $2 grand a month more, nearly 24 grand over a year. ANZ and Westpac have both forecast the cash rate to peak in May once it reaches 3.85%. They expect 2 more rate rises after the February meeting to reach the terminal rate before Australians will get a reprieve. NAB had a better prediction for struggling homeowners, forecasting that homeowners only have to endure 2 more months of rises. It doesn't matter. Well, if you're struggling now, only having 2 more months of pain, is that going to make you feel any better? The bank's economist said by March the interest rate will have peaked at 3.6%. The CommBank had the most optimistic prediction of all, suggesting interest rates could peak on Tuesday afternoon, but then pause while the RBA reassesses and waits for more reports on inflation. Meanwhile, Deutsche Bank has forecast that rates won't start to go down until it hits 4.1%. Chief economist of Deutsche Bank, Phil O'Donoghue, also predicted that Australia's central bank will hike up prices 4 times this year in February, well, they have, March, May and August. The February prediction proved true. Yes, it certainly did. So, well, there we go, everyone. The banks are moving on these rates. Let's have a talk about this. No one's surprised. I expect to see a whole lot of interest rate increases over the next few days from the banks. What we'll do is we'll bring it into my Excel and we'll look at the implications, particularly of people coming off a low sub 2% fixed rate onto a variable. This is coming, guys. It's going to be tough for some people. I think a lot of people are going to have to, live a little bit tighter than they perhaps ever have. Do you think we'll learn the lessons? Maybe not juicing up the housing market? This is just all messy, isn't it? It really, this is just a complete mess. I don't know. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Check out HeiseBim and Heise Does for other content I create. And if you're a fan and want to support us, you can on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.